There are different services that planners
Yes,
offers,
correct.
right? Some I hear they call them day off planners. Maybe they are on-day coordinators, or there are some that takes over like 3 months from the wedding or 1 year. So typically, how do they work?
When I first started, we also do a lot of day off lah. That means you tell us what you want, and then we do that
And
for
from
you.
when do you take over the wedding?
Maybe about a month or so forth.
Right.
We used to do that as well when we first started. When we are still not well known. I'm passionate about this. If I don't do a good wedding for you, I feel very, very, very defeated. Sometimes Regina was telling me, the night or the days leading up to your wedding, we can't sleep. Because we worry, especially when we do like big setup and things like that.
Like what would happen and all the scenarios.
We couldn't sleep, we couldn't go on holidays. We make sure that we don't, but of course we don't tell our clients all these things. But these are all the, that is why even like wedding planners, if you look at the number of really professional wedding planners.
It's actually really little.
Yes, the turnover rate is very high.
Can they book a planner without knowing the date? They can't, right?
Because unless they take a risk lah. Because then we may not be able to do the wedding, if it clash with our client. So usually the wedding date is very important, and the wedding date is also very important not just for planners, but it's also very important for like other vendors, especially like photographer, videographer, musicians, makeup artists, because every one of these
they can
only do
one job a day.
Yeah, one. And also the venue is also important, but the date is actually more important.
So in terms of the planning timeline, you would recommend to start, say, 12 months in advance?
12 months mainly if, let's say, you need to search for a venue, and then you have particular vendors that you want. Like, let's say for film, you want to have Ichiro Film, for example. If you want to have like Mio, you want him, no one else. Then you need to book at least a year in advance. But let's say, for example, you are still searching for like videographer, photographer, you're not particular about anyone, then you can actually do it later, like maybe about 8 months, 9 months, even 1 month before,
Right.
So, but the
that
venue,
sounds quite scary.
we have done before. We have a client that actually booked us a month before their ROM. And then, the bride and the groom initially thought they can do the RM themselves. Then they realized that they can't. So they booked us about a month before, and then we managed to, because the bride is from a foreign country, so, and the groom is very busy, so, they were like looking for things. So we managed to do it for them like within a month, and it was really nice. And after that, we did their wedding.
Could you talk us through like the process? Say if today I'm a bride, I come to you to get married, like what would the steps be?
Well, normally if you're meeting me for the first time, I would ask you, obviously, even before actually, I would already ask you for the date and venue.
Date and venue.
So,
okay.
So let's say, for example, you have confirmed the wedding date, the wedding venue, then normally I will ask you about your entire day. Like, are you planning to do like gate crashing, things like that, like roughly like tea ceremony, where are you planning to do, then the other thing is I would go through the vendor list. Like photographer, like, what kind of style you're looking for, what kind of costing. A lot of times client will ask us, Anna, can you give us an overall, like how much I have to spend for my wedding?
Yeah, a budget, right?
I normally don't like that because I feel that every couple is different. Some bride would spend 20,000 on a wedding gown. Just one wedding gown, 20,000. And I think it's perfectly fine. But maybe they would not spend anything on the decor. That is also fine. But some couples would say, Anna, we want the decor to be fabulous, 100K, let's say, for example. But for wedding gown, maybe we spend about 5-6K lah. Or maybe I go to New York, go to Vera, buy white, which is 1,002 USD. So hence, if I give you an overall budget, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
So
they would want you to give
exactly.
like a ballpark, like
I don't. I would tell them, no. It's, and also depends on the hotels. Even hotels, they have different. So I'm very, very detailed. So that's why a lot of parents, they like me. So normally I would tell my couple, then I say, okay, for photography, videography, who have you looked for? Have you, who do you like, the style?
Right.
And then, and after that, I will ask them, like, do you have an idea what you want to spend? And most of the time they will say no, So I say, okay, these people are probably this amount of money. Okay, so this is one cost. Then after that, the gown, then I'll ask them, like, what kind of gowns do you like? Is there, do you want local designers? Do you have any idea? Are gowns very important to you? And I will look at their figure, is it difficult figure or is it easy to get? Then after that, I'll ask them about like the entertainment. Are you planning to have entertainment? And if you do, what kind? Then of course about the food as well. Then I will ask them, the guest list.
Oh, that's very important.
Yeah, so I will ask them, who are your guests? I don't need to know specifically who they are, but I need to know that, what industry they are from, because it's also certain expectations.
After you confirm like the initial, like the budget, then what's next?
Okay, then after that, usually either they'll go very scary. That, oh my God, I'm going to spend so much money. No, Spellbound is not allowed. Then I would usually tell them to think about it. I never accept confirm booking immediately. I will always tell them, you go back, you think about it. Then if you want to confirm us, it's very easy. You can just send us the deposit, just sign the letter of agreement, or you can come and see me again. It's really very much up to you. But don't book me on the spot, because I want you to think about it. And then, because if you think that you want to book Spellbound, and you can always do it online, we can just TT the deposit or send us a check. But at least it gives you some time to think about it, don't rush into these kind of things, Then after that, okay, let's say they confirm us already. Then usually, then we see what is their timeline. Because some of our clients, as I said, they could be accountants, they could be like auditors, or they could be lawyers, or they could be bankers. Then they have certain period in the year whereby they're very busy.
Yep.
So we will do a timeline for them. And some of them study. So, we will plan a timeline for them. So basically in Spellbound, nothing is like cookie cutter. Yeah, I mean, we have a certain template of what you have to do. But the timeline, everything, we will do to your preference, to your thing. So we make an effort, As I said, do you need a planner? You don't need, because all these templates, you can actually download. You can even get it from magazine. But these are not templates that's done to you. This is very general timeline that says 6 months before this, you have to do this, 3 months before this,
so
you have to
say
do
after that, you will work with them for a timeline.
We will ask them, when are your big trips? When will you be away?
Right.
When are the months that you are going to be really, really busy?
Right.
Then we will plan around it. I mean, certain things are important. And then do you have pre-wedding photography? Do you want to do pre-wedding photography? So if you want to do, then, the gowns and selection, everything has to be earlier. And then are you buying the gown from overseas? I mean, it could be a representative here, but they can't just get the gown like that. They have to, ship the gown over and everything. So it gets really detailed.
Right. So after that, you start to do the implementation and the styling and all that. Okay. So is there a difference in terms of like decoration, styling, florist, planners? Because some planners, they only do planning. Some planners, they do decoration and planning.
Yes, there is a difference. So for Spellbound, a planner is a planner, like what I have just described to you. Okay. Then, but our strength in Spellbound is that we also do a concept and styling. So what we do is that after that, so usually for us, I will do the overall, as in, but then my colleagues, they will follow up with the planning side, as in the timeline, all those things, Then I would come out and do specially another thing, which is the concept, the styling. So then this is a different ball game.
Tell us more about it. Like, how can a couple find out what style they want? Because some people, they don't know what they want. It's
actually hard. But actually that's the thing. Couples always tell me that they don't know what they want. But actually they do. And as a planner, as someone that also plan your wedding, actually there are subtle things that you say.
Oh, really?
Yes, there are subtle things that you say, you wear, you behave.
Can you give us an example?
Well, sometimes they say that, they will say that they don't like black, for example. But I see them wearing black all the time. Then, I will ask them, but you say you don't want black. Is it because of cultural? Is it because your parents don't like black? Then they say, yeah, actually I like black, but we cannot have black. Because, so the thing is that you actually do like black. So maybe if you like black, but your parents don't really like black, then what we could do is that instead of black, we will do navy blue for you, which is not black, but it looks
kind
black.
of, yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
So things like that, because we do get to know you better throughout, let's say if you book us for 1 year. And then I normally will tell my couples, just send me visuals that you like. Things that you like. Maybe bouquets that you like.
Maybe if they send you, it might not be coherent, right?
That is where we come in. We coherent it for you.
So you pick out a pattern.
Yeah, we pick up a pattern. And if in the worst case scenario, if you are really
Lost.
cannot decide.
What about like indecisive?
Indecisive, I always tell them, because the first time when we talk to them, I already tell them, you need to decide by certain date. And actually for Spellbound, we are very, a lot of other companies, they will make the couple maybe confirm the design, everything 3 months before the wedding, or even 6 months before the wedding. For Spellbound, because we do a lot of things in-house and we don't take a lot of clients, I always tell my client, if you confirm earlier with us the design and everything, we are happier, obviously, But for us, we give you the freedom that you can actually confirm with us the design, everything, 1 month before the wedding.
That's really close.
Yeah, but we give you the freedom, you see, because we don't want you to stress. So usually, right, 1.5 months before, because we always tell our client, try to confirm the designs about 3 months before. Because what happened is that leading closer to the date, because normally the RSVP for invitation card is about maybe a month or about 3 weeks before the wedding date. So actually, in terms of RSVP or sitting arrangements, actually, we as planner can't really help you much because we don't know who to sit where, and you and your family will know the guests better. So then actually you will be busy doing that. So actually about 1 month before the wedding, you should actually focus on sitting arrangements and also the RSVP. Sometimes clients hire us to do RSVP, which is fine, we will concentrate on that. But you still need to do the sitting arrangements.
Most of the time, they have to start doing the RSVP, sending out the invite.
That one will be
cards.
maybe about 2 months beforehand.
2 months
So before that,
before.
we normally would say maybe try to do like save the date card. Because if you RSVP too early, there will definitely be changes closer to date.
People.
Yeah, so then you have to do, like if you have 1,000 guests, then you have to redo the entire thing again or something. So we normally say do maybe an internet, online save the date, to potential client and then potential guest, and then you see how they RSVP. So normally we will say the official RSVP date should be maybe about 3 weeks before, because hotel normally need to know the numbers about 10 working days before the event, plus minus.
Right.
So so during this 1 month, and time passed so fast, Peiru. So during this 1 month, we always say try to concentrate on the RSVP, the seating arrangements, all these things. And especially if you have guests flying from overseas, all these things, and then you have your hands party, your bachelor party.
It sounds like a lot to do in 1 month.
So we normally would say the design, everything, try to confirm at least 3 months before, even earlier.
Right.
But my point is that our speciality is also that if you confirm later, at least 1 month before, we can still do it for you. So that is our strength.